Did you ever fight with her?
They're saying, okay, I fought with her, so I must have killed her. I mean, come on.
You know, if we asked you for a DNA swab, would you be willing to give us one?
Maybe.
What Lazarus doesn't yet know is that the cops already had her DNA. In the hallway, the sound is still rolling as her fellow police officers place her under arrest.
Stephanie, you know you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes.
We are taught from childhood that the law is a shield, that those who wear the badge are the thin blue line between order and chaos. But we often forget that under the navy blue polyester and the silver star, there is a human heart. And a human heart is a volatile thing. It is capable of love, yes, but it is equally capable of jealousy, possessiveness, and a rage that can burn through any oath of office. What happens when the protector becomes the predator? When the person standing between you and the abyss is the one pushing you into it? In the face of human corruption, there is only one force that remains indifferent to power, rank, or emotion: science. Science has no temper. It feels no pressure from superiors, and it cannot be intimidated by a badge. It presents only the cold, hard truth. But the tragedy of justice is that science is a silent witness. It can only speak when someone is brave enough to ask the right questions, and sometimes that question takes 23 years to be heard. February 24th, 1986, Los Angeles. A city of dreams, but for Sherry Rasmussen, it was about to become a stage for a nightmare. Sherry was a brilliant nursing director, a woman whose life was a testament to care and healing. She had recently married John Rutan, believing she had found her happily ever after. But John carried a shadow from his past, a shadow named Stephanie Lazarus. Stephanie was everything a 1980s success story was supposed to be: athletic, ambitious, and a rising star in the LAPD. She and John dated for years. For Stephanie, it was the love of her life. In her diary, she poured out her heart, obsessing over every moment they spent together. But to John, it was just casual. To John, their relationship was a closed chapter, a college romance that had run its course. But to Stephanie, John was a prize she refused to surrender. When the breakup happened, she didn't just move on, she began a slow, methodical descent into obsession. Her diary entries from that time read like a criminal profile, not of a heartbroken lover, but of a tactical operative who felt she had been robbed of her rightful property. When Sherry entered the picture, she wasn't just a wife, she was an intruder in Stephanie's distorted reality. Stephanie didn't just feel heartbroken, she felt replaced. And in the mind of a woman trained by the state to hunt, replaced was a declaration of war. The terror didn't begin with a gunshot. It began with a shadow. Weeks before the murder, Sherry was working her shift at Northridge Hospital. She was in her element, saving lives, when she looked up to see a woman in civilian clothes staring at her. It was Stephanie Lazarus. She hadn't come for medical help. She had come to mark her territory. Witnesses would later recall the chill in the air. Stephanie told Sherry with a terrifyingly calm voice, "If I can't have John, nobody will." Sherry was terrified. She told John. She told her father, Nels. She felt she was being watched. But in 1986, stalking wasn't a word people used often. John told her she was overreacting. He told her Stephanie was just having a hard time. It was a dismissal that would haunt him for the rest of his life. On the morning of February 24, the obsession finally turned into execution. Stephanie Lazarus didn't just go to Sherry's home to talk. She went there prepared for a war. The struggle that followed was not quick, nor was it clean. It was a desperate, primal battle for survival that echoed through the rooms of the Van Nuys townhouse. Sherry, though smaller, fought with the ferocity of someone who knew her life depended on every second. A heavy ceramic vase was smashed over her head, raining shards across the carpet. They grappled across the floor, a chaotic dance of life and death. In a moment of pure, animalistic fury, Stephanie leaned in and sank her teeth deep into Sherry's inner arm. It wasn't just a wound, it was a signature of hate. But the physical struggle ended when Stephanie pulled out her backup weapon, a 2-inch .38 caliber revolver. To hide the sound from the neighbors, she grabbed a thick balcony robe, folded it, and pressed it against Sherry's chest. 3 shots were fired. 2 hit their mark. The third was the finality of a grudge that had been simmering for years. Stephanie didn't just kill Sherry, she attempted to execute the very memory of her. She wanted to erase her.
When the LAPD arrived, the scene was a mess of contradictions, but the lead detective, Lyle Meyer, saw only what was convenient. He declared it a burglary gone wrong, blaming 2 unidentified Latino men, despite the fact that Sherry's BMW and expensive jewelry remained untouched. This was the beginning of the blue wall of silence. Whether out of incompetence or an unspoken desire to protect one of their own, the LAPD turned a blind eye to the most obvious suspect. But they underestimated one man, Nels Rasmussen, Sherry's father. Nels didn't just grieve, he fought. For over 2 decades, he became a fixture at the police station, a man who refused to let his daughter's memory gather dust in a cold case file. He hand-delivered letters to the chief of police. He confronted investigators with evidence of Stephanie's threats, and he even offered to pay for private DNA testing when the technology was still in its infancy. Each time, he was dismissed. He was treated like an old man blinded by grief, a nuisance to the professional detectives who knew better. Nels watched as the men who were supposed to find his daughter's killer retired one by one, while Stephanie Lazarus continued to rise through the ranks, pinning medals to the same chest that had once harbored a murderer's heart. Nels Rasmussen wasn't just fighting for an arrest, he was fighting a system designed to protect itself. And for 23 years, he was the only one shouting the truth into the void.
While the echoes of Sherry's final screams were being suppressed by time, Stephanie Lazarus's career was a masterclass in deception. She did not hide in the shadows of the department. Instead, she climbed into its light. As the years turned into decades, she transformed into a highly respected veteran, eventually becoming a detective in the prestigious art theft unit. She navigated the corridors of power with the confidence of a woman who believed she had committed the perfect crime. She was a mentor, a wife, and a mother, all while carrying the heavy, silent weight of the revolver she had used in 1986. Her life was a beautifully crafted facade, a testament to how easily a monster can wear the mask of a hero. But in 2009, the silence was finally broken. A small team of detectives, removed from the old guard and the politics of the past, reopened the file. They saw the DNA swab from the bite mark, the one piece of evidence science had been holding on to for 23 years. The detectives began a shadow operation. They didn't confront Stephanie in the office, they followed her like the criminal she was. On a mundane afternoon, while Stephanie was off duty, they watched her finish a meal at a local restaurant. When she left behind a discarded cup. This was the moment science finally spoke. The detectives seized the cup, and the DNA from her saliva was compared to the bite mark from the crime scene. It was a perfect match. Science didn't care about her rank, it didn't care about her medals, it only cared about the truth.
You and her were having a problem because of the John situation.
Well, I mean, are you guys, is this something, I mean, you said I was going to interview somebody about art.
The interrogation is one of the most famous in history. Watch her mask. She acts confused. She acts professional. She says, "John Rutan? That's a name from the past." But when they mention the DNA, you can see the light die in her eyes. The badge could no longer protect her. In 2012, the star detective was led out of the courtroom in handcuffs, sentenced to 27 years to life. Justice took 23 years, 3 months, and 12 days. It didn't come from a confession, it came from the silent testimony of Sherry's own body, the bite mark that Stephanie thought she had gotten away with. Stephanie Lazarus thought her badge made her invisible. She thought the blue wall was impenetrable, but she forgot that the truth doesn't rot and science doesn't forget. Stephanie is in prison today, but the shadow remains. How many more cold cases are actually covered cases? When the hunter and the protector are the same person, who is left to hear the screams? Sherry Rasmussen's justice was delayed by the flaws of man, but it was delivered by the certainty of nature. Today, Sherry's father can finally rest, knowing that the echo of his daughter's voice was finally heard. But as we close this file, we must ask ourselves, how many other Sherry Rasmussens are out there? How many other burglary accidents are sitting in dusty boxes, protected by the very people we trust? If the law is a shield, we must ensure it is never used as a shroud. Sherry Rasmussen's story is a reminder that the truth doesn't stay buried. It echoes, and eventually the echo finds its way home. Thank you for walking through this dark corridor of history with us. If you found this investigation meaningful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to help the Myth Echoes bring more hidden truths to light. What do you think was the biggest failure in this case? Was it the detectives or the system itself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and remember, the truth always finds its echo. Good night.